Alrighty, so we are back working on the garden today. It's a beautiful day out. Finally not windy as crap, so easier to do some things. So we're gonna get started on getting this next box put together. Let me show you what we got going on here. So as you can see, on the narrow end here, I've got one small log already split in half, laying on the ground at both ends. And one log that's notched on the bottom. I don't know how well you can see it. You can kind of see the notch that I carved out. And sitting over top of that, and with this big boy, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to carve out some notches and flip it onto this end here, right here, just like we've got that one, because we're building kind of a log cabin type of deal here. Should be a little more structurally stable and should be able to raise it a little bit higher. So I've got the side I want towards the ground up right now, because that's the side we're going to notch first. So it doesn't roll. I've got a little piece of scrap wood wedged underneath it. I mean, it's still a little mobile, but not too bad. So we'll notch that out and move it on up. So let's get to it. How would you hear me? You're just going to eyeball how wide you want it to be. Line up with the log here. Helps you take the brake off. Obviously and voila, first notch cut. Nice and easy. Right like that. And we'll save this piece for if we need it for something. I don't think we will, but then we'll just repeat that on the other side. Alrighty, so we've got logs picked out and where they're going. So now things are going to work a little different than a minute ago. So what we're going to do, just because of how everything's going to fit together, I'm not so much notching those two logs as I am, we're going to get in here, about there, cut our notch down, but then we're just going to take it all the way out to the end and just kind of flatten that side. So I've got the sides up that I want to eventually roll down into our bigger or our longer side logs. Now those are going to get notched just like we did a minute ago, and then these will fit down into those two logs in those spots. But yeah, so we're gonna, sorry for all the cutting back and forth, but I'll be honest with you here, with the chainsaw running and being a one-man show, it's a little difficult to to really film most of this very well for you, so I'm just kind of doing in between and showing you the steps between here. Yeah, so anyway, back again in a minute. All right, so here we go. Notches and ends. You'll notice in those notches and this end, it looks a little different because I'm finding as I'm trying to cut some of these out, it's difficult to keep the chainsaw level, so I'm making lots of smaller cuts because it's easier to kind of keep it straight over a shorter distance than over these wide spaces like this. So, then all we got to do, move that right up to the edges here. Now, assuming I cut this right, which is never a guarantee. Ooh. Oh, so close, so close. What I think I'm gonna do, ow, it's hurt myself trying to kick a giant log. But we're just gonna shift this a little, I think. Get this to fit where we want it to fit. Maybe, maybe not. So maybe not. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back in and see I got, about an inch or two that I need to remove off of this one. So we will take that bit off and drop her back into place then. All right, and there it is. Just needed a little bit more. Now, as you can kind of see, though, there's a bit of a gap there, but I'm not too worried about that because I can always use some of these various scraps here. Just kind of plug that hole up. So then we just need to come around, do the same thing on this side, and drop that one in. And then at least the first layer will be done. I'm still trying to decide even if I want to do another layer, because that's all I've got left for logs. And that's not enough to make another circuit around the box here. So I'm kind of thinking I may end up just leaving it as is. But I haven't decided yet. We'll think about that a little bit after I get that one into place. Because if I am going to, I'm going to need to get some more logs for it. But there's more trees that need to come down anyway, so not a huge deal if I do decide to. But anyway, we'll notch that other one out and see where we're at. So I wanted to just interject something here in the middle of this video, because it's important. When you're having problems with cutting equipment, don't be stupid like I was being and try and make it work. Sharpen it. So the reason I was struggling over here with some of that was because my chainsaw blade, or chain rather, was incredibly dull. Now I do sharpen it every time I use it, but that chain, I've had that chain on there for a while, and I've done a pretty fair amount of work with it. I've cut down numerous trees, trimmed other things, split these logs on these boxes with it. There's been a lot of work that I've done with that chainsaw. So I had another chain, and I swapped it out. And as you can see from the cut marks in these two notches, it worked rather nicely. So, yeah, just as a note, whenever you're doing any work like this, and you're starting to struggle a lot, check and see if your cutting equipment needs to be sharpened, or in the case of chains like this, sometimes just straight up replaced. Now, I still have that other chain that was on there, and I may try and put it back on and sharpen it up better. But then again, I may not. I may just roll with this one for a while and keep it maintained, and in a year or two, and replace it again. Because that's about how long I would say I had that chain on there. I'd say I had it on there for about 2 years. And I've put a pretty decent amount of work into it. I would say total hours on that chainsaw. Oh, I don't know, but I'd say probably in the neighborhood of 50, something like that, most of which was all on the one chain. I had to replace the chain once since I bought it because I was going through something incredibly hard, and I ended up breaking off a couple of the teeth fairly early on in using that chain, no less. So the chain that I just switched out has been on there for quite some time. So anyway, I just wanted to take the moment to interject that we still have 2 notches in these 2 big logs to cut. And let me reposition my camera, and I'll give you a look on how that goes, I think, because now that my chain actually works decently and it's not going to take 20 minutes just to cut out these 2 notches, let you see what it looks like here. So all right, fuel and bar oil are both filled up, so we will Here we go. 2 lovely notches. And then we will just trying to do this with one hand is not the easiest thing. There we go. Move them up to place and just roll it on in. What are we catching on there? There it is. Look at that. It's like a half an inch. Half an inch not wide enough or so. So, we'll fix that real quick. Set you back over here. little scraps I'm using so it doesn't roll. Because as the chain starts biting in, it will, the log will try and roll. I don't want that to happen. So. So, as you can see, it was trying to roll on me there. Well, I don't know if you can see, but it was trying to roll on me. So, when in doubt, use a bigger hammer. Or in this case, a hatchet. I almost went too far through that too. Look at that. The chain is so much sharper now. But there we go. Doesn't quite fit right. What we got going on down here? It looks okay. The important thing is, that's where, okay. So we're gonna have to fill that in, but that's okay too. We'll do that. We've got plenty of scrap pieces we can just sort of stick into those gaps. It's a garden box, not a house. It doesn't have to be perfect. But there we are for now. It's probably where I'm going to end up leaving this one. So all we need to do now is fill it in, really. And we'll do that here soon. All right, but that's it. That's the putting it together process. So hope you enjoyed. We'll talk to you next time.